Thank you for tuning in to Koppen with Comic. I'm Brian Koppen. We're here with comic Craig Loydgren. Craig Loydgren, how the hell are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Oh, good. Thank you so much for coming on. And we follow you everywhere. You're keeping us entertained during the pandemic. You were comedian Craig L. pretty much everywhere. I mean, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, of course. But then you're also CraigLoydgren.com.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and I mean, you're just a haunted motherfucker who does paranormal shit, and I just love it all, and it kind of relates to some of your projects. So we're going to talk about that today. First, I think we were on the schedule a long time ago, but your business was picking up because you're just doing what, haunted houses and shit like that. What was it at the Kreischer Mansion? Kreischer Mansion, the Burt Kreischer Mansion.
Yeah, not that Kreischer, not the Burt Kreischer. Although I am always curious if he's related. Out here I live in Staten Island, New York, and I run a haunted house. It's an attraction. It's more than just a house. It's a hayride. It's a whole experience. But yeah, I've been running it for the last 4 years. Me and another guy, and when you called, I was right like knee deep in building. Building and prepping for the hayride. It's pretty cool. It's a real haunted house. It was built in 1885. And there was death there. Even 15 years ago, there was a mob hit, a gangster mob hit. They killed a guy in 2005, a local guy. And his spirit is very much there. I mean, for skeptics, you come out to the house, we'll make you a believer, you know?
So yeah, what's happening? Like, I mean, because you kind of, don't you take care of it a little bit? You kind of keep it up so that it can be shown. Like, what have you noticed while you were in there?
Yeah, I'm an assistant caretaker. My buddy Rick is the caretaker, Rispoli, and we're up there a few days a week doing stuff. And I've seen full apparitions, shadows. You hear voices, doors close. You hear furniture moving. I've caught now, because I also obviously we'll probably get into that. I do paranormal investigations, largely because of the time spent. I always liked them. I always watched the shows, but I've been up here a little over 5 years now working at this place, and this place makes you a believer. It's a very active place. It makes you a believer real quick.
Wow.
And they do come home with you, but they're all friendly.
Do they? Yeah. So what's the kind of the deal with that? Like, through your paranormal investigations, what do you find? Like, kind of what are the rules governing whether they can leave their residence at the Kreischer Mansion? How the fuck can they come home with you?
You learn as you go, and you hope. Like these, I'm kind of friendly with. It's funny. I go in there, like I said, I'm up there a lot. Okay. The spirits in this place know more about my personal life than anyone. Like I go up there and vent. I go up there, talk, smack, and everything else. Like they know everything of what's going on with my family and my children and just my life. So as I go up there and do all this, it just feels like I open up to them so much. They can just kind of buddy. We do a thing which is common in the paranormal, not totally common, but common enough in the paranormal world. You walk out backwards and you tell them that they can't come home with you because there's an old wives' tale. They can like hop on your back and hitch a ride to your house. Yeah, but I don't.
So do you do that? You do that every time you leave?
I used to. Now I slack once in a while because I think I just got so personal up there with them. They come home, man. I've had you're sitting here. I'll be sitting here with friends watching TV, and people are like, I just seen a shadow. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah. So yeah, it creeps you out once in a while. It creeps you out. I always tell them to get out of the bathroom. This is my time. It's the only place I could go. Leave me, please get out of the bathroom.
You're backing into the bathroom. I love that. And I guess I'm hearing kind of a pattern there that could be applied to personal relationships, but also like a connection with the audience, a comedy audience, which is, do you think that, because you share all this with the spirits and things like that, they kind of, I don't know, they feel like they know you and they feel like they give a shit about you and they're not going to fuck with you. And is that kind of like how you treat, is that kind of how a comedian should treat his or her audience, which is, I got to make a connection with these people. That way they give a shit, they respect what I'm doing, and they'll actually shut the fuck up and listen.
You know what? Listen, comedy is very intimate. It's the rawest, most intimate. Many of comics have said it before, and I've been saying it for years, but it's an old thing. Every rock star, every comedian wants to be a rock star, but every rock star wants to be a comedian. The comedy is the rawest form of entertainment. And when you're out there, if you're not like, not even just selling yourself, of course you got to sell yourself, but if you don't believe in what you're saying, the audience feels that immediately and they will totally disconnect and it's done. You have to be passionate about everything you do. Like I'm passionate about everything. but my anger is equally as passionate as my joy, and I'm a pretty angry comic. So but you have to just believe. If you are giving off to them your confidence, and you believe in what you're saying, you could say anything, and they'll not that they'll believe you, but they'll be on board with you. Like, yes, if you're not confident and believe in the words that are coming out of your mouth, no one's going to believe. If you don't believe it, how can anybody else?
So some of that is authenticity, making sure that you're true to yourself so that everything stays internally inconsistent. Because the minute you say, I was fucking a girl last night, and then the next sentence you're like, yeah, I'm faithful to my wife. And then you're like, oh, what the fuck? They're kind of inconsistent. And so like, as far as authenticity goes, like, is there anything you were doing earlier in your career that you look back now and you shake your head and you're like, I can't believe I was trying to sell people this shit, that,
Well,
I was this way when I'm actually the other way.
Yeah, no, I never really. Yeah, a little bit, I guess. But it's in the early years. Yeah, every comedian starts out dirty. You're always telling the dirtiest jokes, and it's because it's kind of the filthiest. It's right there. It gets a laugh or whatever it is, common thing. So that stuff you tend to do unbelievable, outrageous things in the name of comedy and trying to create yourself. But once you find yourself, most of my things that my some of what I said might have been my opinion at one point, and maybe not my opinion now, or whatever, or just where I was at my point in my life. I do things very personal to myself. I do real life. All my comedy, whether as outrageous as it seems, it's real. It's things that have really happened, and after I am angry or upset or whatever about them, and you look back at them, I immediately see the humor. Sometimes I see the humor as it's happening, which makes for a bigger fight if you're arguing or something, with your wife, your spouse, or whoever it is. I see the humor in that. My friends get me mad sometimes, or try to get me mad before I go on stage, because they said the angrier I actually am, funnier I am when I get
It's
on
like,
stage.
I want to hear a good show, Craig. I mean, I got to get you mad before you go up there. Otherwise it's going to be dog shit. But I guess that's tapping into, I think, what people have called the forever fountain. And how did you find out that anger kind of fueled it? And is that kind of what gave birth to the hour special on Amazon Prime, which is called Married and Miserable?
Yeah. Yeah. No, the anger has been always like that. I'm a very hyper guy. It's not like I hooked into it. It's a natural thing, the way I just deliver. I don't know. I'm a big Sam Kinison fan from back in the day. I'm big early old school Robin Williams, early old school Howie Mandel. Those guys were all very hyper, very active, very all over the place. And then Kinison just took it to another level. And then those guys, and then Eddie Murphy and Bob Nelson, those are the five guys that kind of wrap up my childhood top five of why I wanted to be a comic. So you see a little bit of all of them. The anger is probably just because I'm a hyper guy and I deliver and I'm loud and I'm kind of in your face, but not. I'm just kind of jittery, I do that instead. I'm like, I don't do cocaine. I just have ADD. Go. If I did cocaine, I would vaporize into thin air. I'd just explode. So,
but like, how did at what point and how did you discover how not to tip over into a place where people don't like it? Like they have to kind of see that you're a jittery motherfucker who has ADD and is just kind of like that, and that you're not actually angry at us. How do you keep us on your side?
I've been described as, and I love when other people describe, because you can never name yourself. You name yourself, it's kind of silly, unless you have that. But when people come up with like little catchphrases and you dig them, or they stick after a while, then you kind of, as you're introduced like that, people already get a quick idea of, this guy's being like, they call me the Tasmanian Devil of comedy. This guy Matt Bridgestone, he runs AC Jokes down in Atlantic City. He owns, he's the owner of it, but co-owner. Really cool place. But he coined the phrase probably about 20 years ago, 18 years ago maybe. He started calling me and introducing me as the Tasmanian Devil of comedy. So I love that, and it stuck, because I am kind of like, yeah, I'm in your face, like I'm up there spinning. And
so it's more like that. I mean, do you have to be like, let's say you're not introduced that way at the time. How do people know that kind of
people,
swirling vortex of energy is not anger at them?
The other thing was extreme high energy but magnetic likability. I guess I just come off. I'm not patting myself on the back. That's what I was going with that. With the Tasmanian Devil, the other thing, they Untamed and Unchained. I guess I just go up there and I start venting, but I kind of do it with love and a smile, and the people feel it. And again, it's all about your energy. When you go up on stage, you don't believe believe and confident what you're saying, and what you're, and what you're trying to sell to people, it just doesn't convey. You go up there and you have the confidence, you feel it. And don't get me wrong, before every show, I'm doing comedy almost 23 years. And before every show, I still get butterflies. And I still, once in a while, have not the greatest shows. My shows are pretty good, though, all the time because I want them to be. I'm going, when you come out to see me, when you go to a club, you're coming to see me. So I'm taking you on a trip through my world. I'm taking you on a trip. I'm taking you by the hand and bringing you through my head for an hour, which is something similar. I think George Carlin said that a long time ago. And it's just something that stuck. I was like, wow, that's exactly what I do. I take people by the hand. You're coming with me, buddy. Come on. I'm not here to go to you. You're here to come to me. Yeah. You want to hear what I have to say. So you're taking a trip in my head. And this is a wild ride. So you better hold the hell on, strap in, because we're going like, yeehaw, it's a tidal wave. It's a storm. I just bring you on this exciting, electrifying trip. But I do it with fun. I'm having a great time up there. Yeah. I sometimes I interact. I talk to people. People relate. Married a long time. I'm actually now separated. But my next special should be called "Divorced and Miserable," and happy.
The sequel. The sequel we've all been waiting for. That's hilarious. Divorced and happy, and then I'm missing my wife. That'll be your third one.
Yeah. It'll be Divorced and Happy. The tagline of my Divorced and Happy is. I wear 2 different color socks because I choose to, not because they're the only 2 left clean. But
do you? Okay, first it's cool that you do it with a smile and stuff like that, but also some of this venting is directed at other people. So of course, as an audience member, I'm with you on that. Like it's directed to somebody else. But having the confidence is like you getting butterflies before the show is because now you kind of know, I'm a little bit nervous, but I do have the tools to deal with it if it goes bad. And if one of those tools, the fact that when you can feel the audience pulling away, like, oh, my wife's a bitch, she did this, that, and the other. I love her though. Like, do you feel the energy such that you kind of have to slip one of those in?
Well, it's more, a little bit, but it's more, it always comes down to self-deprecation. As much, I use them as a tool, as a guidance, a guide to get you to, usually I come back and crap on myself. I come back and it's almost always something stupid that I did or something I did or whatever. And it's whatever really went down with the whole thing. And I always...
You did have some blame in it. That's funny. So revealing that kind of...
Yeah, a lot of the blame. I'll take a lot of the blame. And that's why when I, like in the special, and I used to just say it all the time, married and miserable. I'm not just saying for us guys. I feel bad for you ladies. You have to live with us. We have our issues, and trust me, we're a lot simpler to understand. Women are very complex. Men are just much simpler for the most part, but we still have our issues. And trust me, I have a few. So, but I use my best therapy. I always said the greatest therapy and the greatest drug at the same time that I've ever done in my life is comedy. Being on that stage is so therapeutic. I used to be a lot more, even like not angrier, but really aggressive. It's always the way I've been. Like I go to parties and everything. When I'm hanging out with my friends, I was always, all over the place. I have a lot of energy, but with comedy, the comedy kind of tamed me a little bit. I'd find myself going out with my friends and not being as jittery and jumping because I guess I had another outlet to entertain. I don't know if that's what it is. If it had something to do with me just always wanting to be an entertainer, always wanting I was the class clown and all that stuff. I really wasn't. I was never voted the class clown. Actually, I graduated from a delinquent high school where you put, where all the bad kids go. It's called Concord High School is where I graduated from here. I went to Tottenville High School, and then but I went to a delinquent school because then I went in the Navy, and the Navy wanted me to have my diploma, so they put me in this delinquent school that you got credits for like working after school. You got credits for if I played football on the weekends. Oh, there's all your gym credits. I worked.
Didn't get the class clown in that one, huh?
No, in that one I got most likely to succeed.
There's something that's cool that you're getting your energy out and things like that. But are you noticing that? I don't know, saying the worst shit on stage and getting a laugh after it is kind of validating. Oh, my emotions are valid. Or is it also just the fact that you're talking things through? You're like, oh man, like saying things out loud, even if you're talking to yourself, can kind of be like, it's what stage brain. It's when you're writing on stage. It's like things are coming to you that wouldn't come to you when you're in a hotel room or whatever. Like, what's
Oh
so
yeah.
cathartic about being on stage? Is it just getting the laugh as validation, or is it talking things through?
No, it's definitely, I think a lot of it has to do with the validation of the laugh. I am doing my job, what I feel like I was meant to do. I honestly feel after all these years, I was meant to in some way entertain. And again, you were saying it earlier, some people don't get it, don't like it. Oh my God, he yells too much. Oh my God, he's too loud. And I have that thought process of either love me or hate me. Don't just like, yeah, he's all right. I don't want that. I want, oh my, love that guy. Or, oh my God, I hate that guy. Because those are the two people that are going to pay the most attention to you.
Yeah.
So, people just like you, they don't remember your name.
I love that. That's how you get your attention as the class clown wannabe. I love that. Like, I didn't even get to be class clown, the motherfuckers. But yeah, like, you can see how much he wants attention at comedian Craig L, because he's a red face and horns. You don't perform in that, do you?
No, oh, I did. I have actually. Yeah, that I did my partner. Well, he's not my partner. He's the other director. We don't own the haunt. We are partners as workers, but the haunted attraction we do. There's three guys that own it, and then me and the other guy are the directors. One directs the house, and I direct the outside, and we do a couple of things together too. He has a horror film. I'm involved with a lot of horror stuff too. He has a horror film festival, the Vault 666 Film Festival. And I think he's on like his 7th year. He does it here on Staten Island, and he gets some cool actors that come out and sit and do autographs, and he shows independent films, and it's getting bigger every year. It's getting a little bigger. I hosted that as that character. That is Lucifer. Yeah, which was a play, an old Robert De Niro was Lucifer and Harry in Angel Heart, the movie Angel Heart. So Louis Cypher. A great movie if you've never seen or heard of it. It's Mickey Rourke and De Niro, amazing. Lisa Bonet, amazing movie.
Ooh,
so check that out. But yeah, so right, they spelt it a little different than the way he spelt it in the movie. But we shot a promo to raise money for a horror movie, and it was Up Late with Lou Cypher. So I was a late night talk show host.
Yes.
And it's pretty cool. The promo's out there. It's on YouTube. It's on I think it's on my IMDb page. You can find it, Up Late with Lou Cypher. It's a pretty cool thing, and I'm the host. And then we were going to try to sell that whole character, and then COVID happened, and I was trying to sell and do a couple other things. So it's tough to wear so many hats. But we were going to try to sell that character as a whole promotional show, like a real show, and take it to to a horror channel, to something like that.
Dude, fuck yeah. Well, he's at the intersection of comedy and horror, but regardless, it's going to be a high energy show, and we'll watch out for it. We look at you on Amazon. You are Married and Miserable, but you're also comedian Craig L.
Right.
Across many platforms, but also Craig Loydgren, CraigLoydgren.com. Craig Loydgren, yeah. Thank you so much.
Yo, hey man, listen, it was a pleasure talking to you.